Hey everyone, I just wanted to stop by real quick for this podcast starts and say you should like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to follow me at all my social medias at John D. Clouser. It's literally the same name as the name that you subscribe to on this YouTube channel. So enjoy this clip, and I'll see you guys on the other side. I know, I talked so much shit on this whole setup, and then look at me now. Another week doing the whole same setup, but I have a microphone being held instead of me shoving it into my face. Buy my shirts that I don't have.
Dude, he needs like some water or some shit, like just tweaking out.
I just want my fucking mom, dude.
Want to see tomorrow? Like, she's at school,
Where's
I'm
my
like, what the
fucking
fuck?
mom? I'm calling my mom.
Shut. No, you're not.
Call your mom,
Not calling
dog.
your mom.
No, call your.
My mom!
No.
I want to see my fucking mom, and you're not gonna do jack shit to stop it.
You love me, bitch.
You think I'm fucking kidding? I'll kill you!
What the fuck did you stop, dude? Fucking scary, dude.
What the fuck did you take, bro?
Yeah, dude.
Are you He's tweaking off the wax pen. What the fuck? What the fuck are you doing?
Welcome to the John Show with your hosts, John Doogie Clouser.
All right. What's going on, everyone? How are you? This is a new episode of the John Show. Episode, 71? We are here in the hub doing my show. So, yeah, like, you might be like, John, what's going on? This seems a little bit different, a little bit weird than how you normally have it. It's like, whoa. You know how last week I bitched about it so much, how I'm like, you know what? I absolutely hate this setup. I'm never going to do this ever again. I'll never do this. This will never be how I want it to be, ever. And the next week came around, and all I did was add my little arm, my jib arm for my microphone, which I think maybe that was the only problem. I think that's what it was. It was the fact that, like, I just did. I had to hold it. Like, I'd rather have my hands free. If my hands are free, then I can talk better, I guess. You know, maybe that's what it was. Maybe that's all that was. So we're here. Like I said, you know what I love about that? I always say that, like, we're here, and then I'll talk and I'll explain. Then I'll go back again saying, hey, we're back here again. I know I do that every week. I've noticed that every week. It's probably one of the weirder things it's a little tick that I do, because it's within the first, like, couple of minutes of the podcast, and I never know how to open these. That's always my problem. It's probably my problem with my movies. It's probably my problem with getting, anything done. It's like, how am I first going to do this? Because once I start doing it, it's easy. It's like anything, like this podcast. Like, I remember the first episode doing it, and I'm like, okay, if I just push record on the audio, and stand in front of the microphone and clap a clapper, I think, I think we can get this. I think I got this to go. I can do it. And then here we are, 71 episodes later. It's a little ironic. You know what's so funny? Like most episodes, because I like to think of myself as a thinker, and I usually have a lot of stuff to say. This episode, I don't. I always say that, but like, this is absolutely true. I don't really have much. This week was really slow for me. Nothing really crazy happened other than today. I was at the gym, got my workout in. Still doing 2-a-days. Usually what sucks about Fridays, like, I'll get my first workout in. I'm so tired when I wake up on Friday morning to go work out. And this whole week I've been really kind of dragging. So normally I wake up around like 7. This week I've been waking up around 7:30. I know, crazy, super late. And with that 30 minutes, so I lose a little bit of my workout, because I have to go over to Walmart, get a jug of water, or by the way, I can understand how someone who sees someone carrying around a jug of water is like, that's kind of a douche move. It's kind of a douche. You kind of come off like, you kind of come off weird carrying, because I carry around a big jug of water, 1 gallon. And I get it. It's weird. It's just like, I don't know how else to do it. I mean, I think about it. I'm like, you know what? Why don't I just use like a smaller thing like this? And I keep this too because I'm always so self-conscious about it. So I'll dump water from my gallon into here and I'll drink out of this. And then when this is empty, I'll just like, because I'm so scared that people are thinking like, well, John, you're one of those people, you carry around that 1 gallon thing of water. What a douchebag. And so I think like, but when you see this with it, it kind of you're like, okay, this person definitely, he is, he understands. He doesn't want to come off like a douche. And so, yeah, I don't know. It's probably just me. I guarantee you this is just one of those thoughts, because I even had a conversation with my friend today, and he was like, no, dude, like no one thinks of like that much that you stutter. Like, no, that's all on you, man. Because I always think like when I'm talking in groups of people, like I hate talking like with my friends. I won't talk much. I'll just I usually just kind of sit there. I'm that guy. And because I get all my energy and all that talking out on my podcasts and my film, when I do like little videos and things, I get my like voice out that way, so I don't have to like sit down with my group of friends and get drunk and then end up saying something super inappropriate and hurting one of their feelings. See, what I'll do is I'll say it online, and then I'll hurt some strangers' feelings. And doing that, it makes it much easier for me to accept it, which is in turn why I drink that gallon of water. And in turn, why some people think I'm a douchebag. So it's called the circle of life. If you have never seen Armageddon, then you should probably see that. Because Aerosmith did the music for it, and I don't want to live it. I don't want to miss the thing, baby. I don't know. I tried my hardest not to cough. But it just wasn't going to happen. It was going to happen. I was like, just let it happen. Let it go. And you'll be okay. So, yeah, like I said, this week has been kind of slow for me. And when I was at the gym today, as always, we ran into a Cocker Spaniel. If you're not familiar, if you're new to this podcast, I call Cocker Spaniels guys who like to show their cock to me in the sauna. And this one was really interesting. And in truthful, like, I've had guys just like prop their leg up, and then show me their cock. I have had guys stroke their cock while showing me their cock. This one was different. So imagine that you're sitting at the end of the bench. You're looking at me, and the reason why you're looking at me is because we should be sitting like this, right? But instead, I'm looking at you like this, and you're looking like you're basically seeing me out of your peripheral vision. And so what if I had a pair of shorts on, and in the shorts had where like the two seams meet, they weren't together anymore, and my nuts were hanging out of them. And I just sat there like this. And you just had to just look at my cock, my steaming 2 balls of nuts, like just hitting you like this. Just you could feel the heat because of the sauna, but then like they're ball heat, so it's a lot different. You feel it more. If you're as a man, you understand this. When you see a pair of nuts or a dick or anything like that you don't want to see. See, the thing is, I don't really ever feel like I don't feel totally uncomfortable because I have gay friends. I've seen them banging each other. I don't give a shit. It doesn't bother me. Like, I walked in on it. I'm like, oh, big deal. I'm like, oh, Jill, my bad, guys. I need to get my jacket, then I'll get the fuck out. So that's not the problem. That's not the problem. It's the fact that you just have so much comfortability with me. Something about me says that I'm okay with you pulling out your cock and jerking it off in front of me. I don't know why that is. I've yet to discover why, but this happens to me all the time. But this one was just weird because it wasn't like, I can understand you jerk off in front of me. I can understand, you prop your dick and you show it to me, because you could be like, well, all it has to take is like, if I were to say like, yeah, let me see that cock, and I put it in my mouth, then like the job's done. But this one was just sitting there, and it was just like, oops, I'm sorry. Oh, my bad. Did did you know that I was going to be here? It was like almost like an ex-girlfriend that you run into at a party and you're like, oh, son of a bitch. Like, Jim, why didn't you tell me that fucking Sarah was going to be here? If Sarah was going to be here, I wouldn't show up, or I would have waited till I would have texted you and asked, is she here? Did she leave? So I could have shown up. But look at us now. I'm sitting here and I can just feel the heat from your fucking cock balls, like just on my side of my face. I could just feel it. And I'm just sitting there. I'm like, why? Why is this the thing? Why is this going on for me right now? And it's just another day in the neighborhood for me. You know, what can I say? But another funny thing too, a guy came up to me. It's so funny because like, I see so many people all the time because I've been going to the same time. I go in the morning at the same time and in the afternoon at the same time. So I see these same people, but at those times, and it's so weird. I think those moments are funny because think about it. Every day I choose to go to the gym at this time, and so does these other random people. They do that. They do the same thing too, and because of that, like I had this weird relationship with them. Never talk to them. I will occasionally like, oh my bad, I'm sorry, excuse me, and like we cross paths. They know me, I know them. Like we're in each other's lives every day. Do we know each other's names? Maybe, maybe not. But we have the small parachute moment that we're in each other's lives, and they've seen my hair. I guess they've seen my hair for like many years, just long, and I never really realized it. And then this other guy, he came up to me today and he was like, hey, I meant to tell you last week, like I really like your haircut. Your hair looks nice. And I'm like, thanks. And it was like really nice. It was super nice. And so now I'm like, tomorrow I'm going to have to be like, hey buddy, like, I don't mean to bother you. I'm like, what's your name, man? And like, I'm going to have to introduce myself. I'm like, hey, like, since that was such a nice compliment, I have to at least like come over and at least introduce myself. And so like, because I see him around all the time and he's always saying hi to everyone else. So it's almost like, well, John, now you need to be good friends with this guy too, because that was such a kind thing to say. But it's so funny is that like, what was I doing? Was my hair really that bad? Or is it just such a crazy juxtaposition seeing me from this like long, crazy Tarzan kind of guy to like this short, clean cut guy? I don't know. It's funny to me. It's just like, I'm like, well, I think it's the mustache. I really do. I think that's what it is. Because I would just have a baby face if I just had my short hair. But the fact that I have this little mustache, it really does help. It's a little perfect little accent that I never realized I had. And it was so funny because when I used to do my hair, like I used to have the side short and the top is like a little man bun. That was when I first started growing it out. It was almost like an Indian look, like a Native American look. And I had that, and I used to do like a little like what do they call them? Like a chin strap and a goatee, and I never. That wasn't my choice. That was my barber. She was always like, I think this look good on you, and it worked. So I feel like thin little facial hair works best for me because I don't have a lot of facial hair. It's not super thick, so I have to work with what I have. So this little small thin mustache I think works a lot better. I think it's a good look for me. Yeah. So I don't know, like I feel like this whole week so far has been about the gym. But I see these people, I don't know, like I told you, this week was so random and nothing really happened. So all my stuff was like just things I noticed at the gym mostly, or things I thought of at the gym were mostly all related to the gym. You know what I mean? Can we stop deadlifting with socks? I don't know. Is this even... It was one of those moments where I walked into a sentence and I'm like, I don't know what to do with this. Yeah, it's weird to me when I see people deadlifting in socks because... it's just weird. Like, it's like the only reason why I deadlift is simply because like it helps me like being able to like lift things at work. That's the only reason why I do it. So I don't deadlift a lot of weight anymore because I just don't see the point in it for me. I'm 32 years old. I'm closer to 33 than 32. So like I kind of want to start saving my joints. But I have been going and I have been squatting and doing a lot of leg work without any knee braces or knee sleeves I've worn them for years. But I'm like, John, like you're not doing any heavy weight now. So like I don't think you need to wear them. I think you could probably build up the strength in your knees and the joints and everything like that. And I take a lot of fish oil. So I'm like, you know what? I think you could probably just ease back on that. And then when I like deadlift or I do any squats, like I just wear Chucks, which it's always funny because I go off and on with them. Sometimes I use Chucks, sometimes I use deadlifting shoes. For like 2 years, I was using deadlifting shoes, and just recently, within the last like maybe 2 months, I switched over to Chucks again. Just try it, just to try something different. I think that's really what it is, and I think I'm in that weird limbo phase where I'm not tired of it, or it's not hurting joints, and then versus like what I used to wear and what I'm so used to, and then hurting my joints with those, because it doesn't matter. Eventually, my joints will start hurting, and then I have to ease off and do something different and focus on other things because I can't. I would love to be able to do just like every Thursday deadlift. I can't do that. I can do that for a couple months, and then I have to stop and do something else because my joints will start hurting. Because it's like we get what you're doing and we understand, but there's really no need for us to be doing this anymore, other than just being fun and just doing it for an activity. So that's kind of where it's what happens when you get old and you're an old athlete. Like I've busted up knees, shoulder. Like this whole week, my right shoulder has been on fire. Even just like walking, and just the fact like doing like that small little like bump up and down like this, it was like it was like a boof woof. It wasn't like a sharp pain. It would just like it was like numb. It would be like a numb hit, and it would just spread to like the lower part of like, I guess like the right here on my jaw, or like where my neck and my jaw meet. And I'm like, oh my God, it just was like awful. And I had to put KT tape on. And then I was at the gym, and I'd be, in between like lifting, and I'd have like a little medicine ball, and be like rubbing it on my shoulder the whole time. It was just, it's rough. It's rough being me. Rough. But yeah, it's a good time. It's a really good time. We have some tequila. What Hornitos, which is like little ovens. Thanks, Rachel. She left it, and so I'm taking a little bit of sips of it. Remember, 2-finger pull. That's all you need to feel good. Because the thing is with tequila, if you're not drinking it if you're not eating and drinking it, be careful with it. That's why I always say, be careful. Just even if you're what you call a seasoned vet, tequila is one of those things. It's like it's a wild ride. It's like going to Tijuana. Good time though. Man, if I could go to one, I'd probably have to go to Athens, Greece. If I could go to like just one, like if I got a ticket to a international trip. It was really gross to do that right in the microphone, guys. I apologize. How was that? So much better, right? More respectful, politeness. But if I could go one place, I'd probably choose Athens, Greece lately, because I've really wanted to go there. Maybe Portugal. Yeah, Portugal's pretty cool too. I haven't been to Portugal in years. And the thing is, like, when I went to Portugal, I was only in the airport because it was a weird layover. Because we were going from London, so we went to London to Portugal for some reason, and from Portugal to Philadelphia, then from Philadelphia into Kansas City. And it was weird in that sense, but yeah, Portugal's airport. I just know the Portugal's airport, and I'm like, oh my God, because it's so weird for me because because I'm Spanish or Latino. It's so I guess I shouldn't call myself Spaniard because but I am technically Spaniard, and if you were to look at me, you would probably think I'm more Spaniard than anything. I think, like if you look, okay, so I'm Honduran and Egyptian, and then my Honduran side is Tenoco, which is Portuguese, and from Portugal to also Brazil, there's like a little bit of Brazilian in there, which I don't think I got any. Because a lot more of my family, my biological family, are much darker than I am, so I feel like they had more of like that tone. Because you either got like the Portuguano side, And like that was more me, like super light complected, versus like the Brazilian like side. But it was because it's so funny. You see my family. If you went, and I remember when I go and I visit them, and like we go and we hang out with like other people who have not met me but they've heard about me, and they're like, oh, so like where's your brother? It's like, oh, it's that guy right there, like the white guy, like it's the white guy, that's your brother, like, but you guys are so much dark, and you guys are so dark, and he's like not at all. It's like, yeah, it's just what I am. It's I like to think it's a little bit of nature over nurture on that one, but it's hilarious because I don't look anything like them at all. I look like my dad for sure, though. I look like my dad a lot. And my mom, sadly, she kind of looks like a Joey Diaz. She looks like Joey Diaz, the comedian, but just with like, earrings. That's really it. And like kind of like she has like a bowl cut. She did. God bless her soul. She's passed on now. Yeah, that's a very, very interesting thing. Yeah, she passed away. I don't know if any. I remember I talked about it and I titled it one of my episodes. Big Cat, wonderful lady. She was very interesting. We never really had a great relationship, really any relationship. For the longest time, it was so weird, funny. Cause like the longest time I was so angry by it, and I remember like when I was adopted. And I would be a teenager. It was really when I was a teenager. I was like probably 14, almost 15 years old. And that's when it really hit me. When I was like, oh, man, I was a fucking abandoned. What the fuck? And like, because you just had, your brain will just like allow you just to forget and not comprehend a lot of things just so you can get over the trauma. And I feel like that's what my brain did for the longest of time. Because like, and I remember in like elementary school, I remember like not knowing the alphabet at all until like the first grade, the English alphabet. And I'm like, oh, and I remember being in the first grade and it just like clicking. And then going into middle school, and I'm just like such a fucking weirdo. I was such a weird guy. Like, you think I'm weird now? I was even weirder then because I was still coming into myself like English and like trying to understand like etiquette with people. And it was just such an interesting time. And so I delved myself into music. I loved music. And it's so funny now, not a big fan of it. Not a big fan. Films, love them. Podcast, even better. Actually, like, I don't know. It's a close thing. Like, the thing is with podcasting, like, I'm able to the reason why I do the podcasting as much is because I'm able to put the film into it. So that's really why I do it. It's like the film stuff. Because I did more. Set up the audio stuff, easy. That took like 5 minutes. It was I moved all these lights around and I had to move them and figure out a way to do it. And the thing is, like, I have it all like, if you really want the truth, there's more lights over here on this side than there is on this side. There's only the one over here, which is almost like, it doesn't even act like a light. I have the lamp, but I have this light back here, which doesn't even really act like a light anymore. It's almost like it's a stage light. It's become almost at this point because it's mostly just there just for looks, because it's like this one and then this one over here. So it's kind of like a sitting between two lights kind of feel, like you're a filmmaker. That's kind of what I was wanting to go for. And actually, you know what? That is what I'm going for. This is what I was going for. I'm like, hey, this is a filmmaker in a studio, and you're sitting listening to him talk on a podcast. That's what it is. That's what I'm gonna go with. And but yeah, like when I was it was really, I always knew. So it was pretty quick that I found I was doing music. And the thing is, like, the reason I was doing music so much, and then I started watching a lot of music videos, and I really liked the idea of like taking pictures and video and putting music to it. So I really wanted to be a director and making music videos, because I was like, oh, I can mix both of them, the best of both worlds. But then I kind of realized, then I found podcasting, and I was like, oh, this is so much better. Again, so much better. I keep going back to that. It's like I just didn't have it when I was super young. I was like, music was the best I had. So with getting some sort of art out, and then I was watching. I would work out. I'd wake up super early, go to the gym at the school, work out with a couple of my friends, come back home, watch music videos, mow the yard, come back in, watch music videos. It was all I did all throughout high school. Played football, but it was all a means to get me into football, to get me into film school. Everything was into film school. It was all about film school. And that's really when it kind of made a change. I would say about 15, because I'd always played with cameras, but it was always a secondary thing versus playing music and playing my guitar and all that stuff. And also I had a hand injury, which that really like deterred me from music as well, because when I couldn't do any music stuff because my hand was injured, I was able to do camera stuff. I just picked up my camera and I started taking a bunch of pictures and all that stuff. Really, I think that was probably a big turning point. If I wouldn't have hurt my hand, I would have probably ended up going to like Berkeley School of Music, which is so funny. I would have been a completely different person too. I would never look at film the way I do. It would all have been about music and, oh, this is how I feel about the acoustic guitar, and oh, this is what Latino music, and it'd be all that kind of stuff. And it's funny. It's funny what little things that happen that kind of change and make the ebb and flow of your life. But yeah, that was it. That was that. I love how I was really onto something and then like it just like, oh well, and we're done. We have like 4.5 minutes left on this podcast. See, like I have weird stuff. Like I don't know who listens to that self-help stuff and it works for. Oh, so self-help videos. You know those videos like people are like, you know what, you are good. You are better than, like, it's like maybe I'm just have so much like not dislike for myself, but I just have so much like I run by like being like, John, you need to do more. Because I like to do 2 a day. I do 2 a days. Come home, I'll edit, or I'll do this podcast or something like that. And this will takes like an hour and a half to set up, and then 30 minutes to film it. But the thing is, like, I'll just do it. And I run by the fact that like I just like knowing that I do all these things. Like I just do it. I'll wake up early, work out, go to work 8 hours, go back to the gym, work out another hour and a half, come back home. It's just like, I don't know. And so I'm like, so when I listen to these like self-help things, like, you know, like you are this, you'll be better than that. Like, no, like you just got to do things. I feel like if you just do things, then you're okay. But I also feel like maybe like, why are you doing all these things though? That's the also thing I got to think about. That's where I'm like, I'm dumb, but I'm just smart enough to be like, well, why are you doing these things, John? I then will ask myself, as though I ask questions about things all the time. Then I ask myself my own questions. Like, well, why do you do you, Juanito? Why is this? Why do you do this? Like, why do you like to drink tequila sometimes? And like, why, like, or like, why did you feel that you're drinking too much alcohol? Like, because I was drinking those tall boys or something like that. Or like, why do you feel that you can put in so much effort in doing this one part of your aspect of art, but you don't do that in like logoing or like making like good like Photoshop stuff? Like, why is that? So that's where I was like, damn it, like you're right. And so like I always have to call myself out on my own stuff, and like especially like if your own. It was so funny. Like I'm so jealous of the kids now because you have so much abilities. Like as a filmmaker, if I was a kid, I would be making so much shit. You'd be the abilities you'd be doing because you have an iPhone. I'd just be shooting shit with iPhone, and then like learn how to make a Jimmy rig, like camera equipment, and it'd be so light because your phone's so light. It'd be awesome. Instead, like what I had to do is I had to watch the director's commentary and DVDs to get my that was like my pre-film school like education. Which in turn I learned a lot, but it was almost like podcasting though. So like that's why you could see like I'm probably doing like in terms like an old dinosaur version of art by choosing to do like, because basically podcasting is just radio. It's pirate radio. All this is just a pirate radio show. It's anything more than that. I love doing it though. It's so much fun. This is one of the great things. I look forward to doing this every week, even when I have nothing to talk about. Because the thing is for me. It's like, let's see, talk for 30 minutes. Just go. And things, I have less than a minute left. So if you've gotten this far, like, comment, and subscribe. And, if you didn't like it, just keep it going. I want to say thank you for watching, though. Thanks for getting this far. Don't give a thumbs down, though. I would still want you to give a thumbs up. But I hope you guys are safe and sound. Have a good 4th of July. It's going to be a good time. We beat COVID. And there's Delvin-19 or something like that, the other new strand. But I feel like no one gives a fuck. And Bill Cosby, he is not in prison anymore. He's not in prison. Anyway, guys, I'll see you guys on the next episode. Be safe. Don't blow up your hands. Spay and neuter your cats and dogs. And check out the Aaron and John show after this. It's probably going to be the next show that pops up. All right. Bye.